Okay, great. So we'll start now. So once again, folks, good evening and welcome to the series of webinar from QAI. And this series is on ITIL qualification scheme and the changes in 2011 version of ITIL. I hope everyone over here is familiar with little bit of what exactly is ITIL or what is meant by ITIL. If not, then a quick background or brief information about this. ITIL is an approach towards IT service management. In simple words, as simple as that. And it is a set of best practices drawn from different industries in the area of IT service management. Right. In 2007, ITIL came with a new version called ITIL V3, and this was a service lifecycle based framework. And as we say the service lifecycle, it means as simply as that, as we human have some kind of life cycle, a child is conceived, born, grows, and so on. Similarly, we will see that in ITL v3 we adopted a framework on the service lifecycle. So how a service is conceived, how it is being designed, how it is transitioned, how it is operated and improved upon from there on. And from the change from the version 2, we also I came up with the qualification scheme. So the highest certification in version 2 was the managers that was available, whereas in ITL v3 we have the highest certification as ITL version. And this is, I'm going to give you a breaking news over here, that till the end of April there was nothing, no guidance on the ITL master, but the ITIL master has been launched from May 2012. So it means we know how to become ITIL master. It has officially been launched. All right. But before we move towards the ITIL masters, we will see how to become ITIL master or expert or the different intermediate cycles that we have. In case if you have any questions, you can post it on that chat, and when found relevant, I will take those questions. Or we can take it in the while the presentation is going on, or we can take it at the end of the presentation that we have. I will see. I will take a decision on that based on the question that has been raised. So when ITL foundation, so as we know that ITL is a big world, and to enter in this big world, ITL foundation is the certification that is available. So ITL foundation is what you can say is a 38,000 feet view of the entire ITL that we have. And by clearing this, we are eligible for the intermediate life cycle or intermediate capability. So intermediate life cycle is simply based on, as I said, that's the life cycle of a service. So service strategy is there, service design is there, service transition, service operation, and continual service improvement. In intermediate capability, we have 4 modules, namely OSA, PPO, RCV, SOA. I will come to that. Now, the difference between, I mean, if you see the process wise, the processes inside these intermediate capability and the intermediate life cycle are same, right? So in life cycle, this is mostly for the people who are managing the different stages of life cycle, or responsible for the different stages for life cycle on a very high level basis. For the intermediate, it is for those who are into end-to-end implementation of this, involved in day-to-day activities, right? So as I said, there are 5 life cycle stages in intermediate life cycle, namely service strategy, where we do the different decisions are taken, where the financial things are taken care of, where the portfolio is being managed. All those kind of things are there in service strategy. And the once the decision has been taken, policies are there, frameworks are there, then we move on to the service design, where in service design, I mean, as the name suggests, you produce the blueprints of the service that needs to be designed, either a new one or the one that needs to be changed. In service transition, we transition the service from design so that it being usable for the users. And in service operations, we maintain the service, either a new or the change ones. CSI is applicable, or as the name says, continual service improvement is applicable to all the stages of life cycle. Now, this is, for example, let's say there is in any organization, someone is responsible for managing day-to-day operations, right? So for him or her, service operation would be the most suited one, right? So if you see, the typical audience for the service life cycle is people like CIOs, the managers, supervisory staffs, team leaders, right? Consultants. These are the audience for the service operations, right? But let's say if we, on the other hand side, if we look at the operation support and analysis, if you see the in terms of processes, service operation and OSA from intermediate capability, they both contain the same processes, but how they are being treated in these two modules are different, right? So for example, in the service operation side, the management level concepts will be covered and the core information about the techniques will be covered, but not the specific details about each of the supporting processes. But it would be other way around in the operation support and analysis. We will be going into the designing the process, we'll be going into the each and every process step, process activities in OSA. From QA, we will have the different kind of exercises also given during these two different kind of either intermediate or intermediate capability. So for example, let's say someone is playing. Okay. Okay. So Pradeep is asking, what does the number 3 and 4 represents in the boxes? Okay. I'm coming to that, Pradeep. Those number has some significance, and I will come to that in a little while from now. So in this, let's say someone who is involved in day-to-day kind of releases, changes. So for him or her, the most suitable would be release, control, and validation, which is RCV module from the intermediate capability. All right. But for a person who is managing these kind of things, so the module that would be applicable would be the service transition one. Now, till April end, the highest certification for the public domain that was available was ITIL Expert, right? So the highest certification in this ITIL qualification scheme, the highest certification that you can achieve was ITIL Expert. And now to become an ITIL expert, you need 22 points. Again, to become an ITIL expert, you need 22 points. As soon as you clear your ITIL foundation certificate, you get 2 points for that. Now there can be different ways of becoming an ITIL expert, right? So for example, you can do the foundation, you can take the course of intermediate life cycle, and the numbers that are written inside these boxes are nothing but the numbers that you will get by successfully completing these modules, right? So for example, if you do service strategy, you completely, you clear the certification for that, you will get 3 points. So 3 plus ITL Foundation 2. Remember one thing in these, that each of these module are stand-alone modules. What I mean is that not everyone needs to become an ITIL expert. You can say that you are OSA intermediate capability certified, or you can say intermediate life cycle service transition certified. They stand and they have their own significance as a standalone as well. But let's say, based on, let's say you're playing a role of, let's say, a service delivery manager, or you're managing the entire set of IT services in your organization or for any other organization being a service provider, then let's say you want to become an ITL expert, then this number and the point system will come in picture, right? So to become an ITIL expert, you need 22 points. So one of the way of becoming an ITIL expert is you do the foundation, you do the intermediate life cycle, and above that, there is something called managing across the life cycle. Managing across the life cycle is typically how to implement and how to manage the entire service management piece. That's what it talks about in managing across the life cycle. And by doing that, you get, or completing that certificate successfully, you get 5 points for that. right? So for example, let's say you have taken a path of ITIL foundation and intermediate life cycle, and then going for managing across the life cycle. So you automatically get 22 points and you become an ITIL expert. The other way could have been that you could have taken the foundation route and then the intermediate capability. So each of those capability modules will give you uh, 4 points. So 4 4s are 16, and then going for the managing across the life cycle, you become an ITIL expert. So Rajiv asks, can I say ITIL foundation plus service transition is good for transition manager? Uh, Based on the sentence that you have written, Rajiv, I can say yes. But probably I would like to understand more when you say what do you mean by transition manager. So there can be a different what you say definition of transition manager. But let's say if you are involved in the build, test, and deployment of the services, and you are managing those, if you're a manager for those, yes, foundation plus service transition is good enough for you. And as I said, these are standalone modules in all. Uh, I'm play. Rajiv says I'm playing the role of transition manager, both transitions as well as transformation. Okay, Rajiv, if you say the transformation is a big word. Huh? So if the transformation is will involve the entire life cycle stages, right from defining the strategy towards the improvement of those, right? So if it is the case of transformation, it's the entire life cycle stage that you have to go through. So probably the best one would for you to would be to become an ITIL expert. Oh, I mean the way that I see a transformation as a word. Okay, uh, there are some more questions. Okay, yeah. So I will go with Hemant. Hemant says that can we take the questions at the last? Yeah, and I will go with Hemant. I will keep. I mean this we will maintain the history of this chat, and I will take this question at the back. So I will take Hemant's suggestions, and we will take these questions at the end of this presentations taken. Okay, okay, and at the same time, you can also use some of the permutation and combination from both we can take the permutation and combination of different either life cycle or the capability modules. As you can see in the next slide, this slide, there are different options of becoming an ITIL expert, right? On the extreme right hand side column, you can see the total number of credits. This is what you get after going through these different options. So one option is you go through the entire capability stream, do the managing across the life cycle, and you get 23 points. Other option is you go through the entire life cycle stream, you do the managing across the life cycle, you get 22 points. The other options that you can see is again based on the different options. The way it is recommended is you should not take where there is a huge overlapping between different modules. So service operation and OSA cannot be combined in this case, and hence we have the different options over here which can take you towards the ITIL expert. Now, as I said initially, the big breaking news in terms of ITIL Masters. In terms of ITIL Masters, as we knew earlier, it's going to be on the same lines. So you need to select a scope. You need to register it on these EI's bodies. You need to submit the different documentation required for the improvement that you have done in your area. Those documentation will be reviewed, there will be an interview, and after that you will be either given ITIL masters or any, I mean a decision will be taken. So in short, if I want to say, it's like a project that you have to implement and showcase how you have implemented your application, your justification, all those kind of things will come when you're going for that ITIL masters. It has recently been launched, and soon we will see that the different projects for this ITIL masters also coming. You can directly do it through the EIs, and ATOs as of now, as far as I know, I mean will have no role in that. Okay. So as I said, in intermediate life cycle, it is more strategic in nature and focus is on implementing the entire stage of the service life cycle. And as I said, the audience that we are seeing would be more of CIOs, managers, or the supervisory staff. It emphasizes on the processes, relationship, roles and responsibilities, and implementation consideration. So it does not involve in detailed activities levels of the each processes and the relationship of detailed activities with the other processes. It does not go into those specific details. All right. The target audience, as I said, process owners, managers, CIOs, even CTOs can be the audience for this intermediate life cycle. For the capability, as I said, it's so normally in intermediate life cycles are of 3-day trainings. So 2.5 day for trainings, and the third day, second half is for the examination. Whereas intermediate capabilities, as I said, they are more prescriptive in natures. They cover the detailed view of processes, each and activities, detailed activities of those processes, their linkages, their relationship. That's what is covered in capability. So they are of longer duration. Normally QA courses for the intermediate capabilities are of 5 days. It's 4.5 days for the trainings, and the second half of the fifth day is for the certification. Even the exercises that we have in QAI are made different for these two different modules. So whether it is capability or it is or for the life cycle. So we have the different exercises being given during these uh, trainings. In terms of how the examination goes for this, those who are not aware of this is a gradient based questions that comes in the intermediate, right? So when I say gradient based, so there are 8 questions in the intermediate, whether it is a life cycle or a capability. There is a scenario for each of these questions. Based on that scenario, there is a question. Based on that question, there will be 4 options. If you answer the best option, you will get 5 points for that. If you answer the second best, you will get 3 points for that. If you answer the third best, you will get 1 point for that. And one option is the wrong answer in those 4 options. So that's what I meant by gradient base. So in summary, what I'm saying is, and the passing marks is 70% in this. That means out of 40, you have to score 28 minimum marks to pass this intermediate modules, whether it is life cycle or whether it is capability. Right. And so what in short, what it means is that if you answer all the question correctly, but your answers are second best options, then also you fail, because in that case you will be getting only 8 threes are 24 marks in that, right? So it's a combo of subjective and objective both. It's little bit difficult. It tests your knowledge, it tests your comprehension of the what you call it, scenario, and about your experience as well. So it's a combination of all these three that will take you towards the certification. Okay. Before I move to the next part of this, changes in 2011, you can shoot your questions for the qualification scheme. So as of now, I have Rajiv. So I guess I have answered Rajiv. Uh, okay, I can see some questions in queue. Okay, guys, I'm waiting. There are multiple attendees are typing, and I will get those questions very soon, I guess. Okay, so Rajiv says, as a process implementation team, capabilities is more relevant than life cycle. Process implementation team, yes, Rajiv, you're right. Uh, uh, capability is more relevant than life cycle. That's right. But the only issue with the capability stream is, Rajiv, which is still open and it's being discussed with between different ATOs and even at the examination institutes, that the CSI module is not covered as a part of those. Though the CSI is covered improvement as each of these, but as a whole, CSI continual service improvement is not covered, right? So if we are not looking from an expert perspective, if you're looking from a process implementation team perspective, my just suggestion would be yes, it's good to go with the capability modules. Plus, my recommendation would be to go with CSI as well. Would be my personal recommendation. Okay, Hemant says, what are the changes as compared to ITIL V3 Foundation 2007? Hemant, we will cover that as as the next agenda on our presentation. That's the next item that we are going to take. Okay, if a person is certified for service strategy as per 2007, then does he need to reattend this training? No, as of now, no. There is no need to reattend this training for, as far as I know, for the service strategy. That's still there. But what they have done, the recent changes that I have seen is that there is, yes, the old certification is still valid, but they are coming up with the life of these certifications based on certain years. So, yeah, so 3 years, a maximum 5 years for those, and then the recertification process will be there. Okay, so Trupti Trupti is asking for ITL master, can we select any one module or do we need to cover multiple modules for projects? Trupti, since this has recently been launched, the master pass, what it says is that you have to give that scope of your implementation to the examination institute. They will review that and then they will say whether it is okay to move ahead or not. So as far as I see, with the limited information as of now that is available to me, we don't need to cover all the modules in this. We can select based on the area of scope that we are covering. In that, we have to showcase the implementation of those processes. Okay, so Vineet asks, how can he update himself with the newer version? Okay, see, Vineet, as of now, see the changes in 2011. I will take you through some of those changes which are there. I mean, again, we on a 28,000 or 38,000 feet view, right? So one of the way of, if you want to go in exact details of those different ATOs can provide you a one-day overview or the difference in the 2007 and 2011, or would be to go for, I mean, if your organization has those five uh, books of a service life cycle, that would be another way. But IATOs do offer one day of what you say the course between showcasing the difference between the changes in 2011 and 2007. Okay, so Jeevan, I mean, how is ITIL different from regular project management methodologies like PMP? See, Jeevan, this ITIL is for service management, right? So, as I said, it's managing the entire service life cycle, right from a strategy to the retirement and towards the improvement of that. Now, PMP is a project management methodology, right? So nowhere I'm saying that in ITL is the self-sufficient for the entire IT services that we have. So PMP is a helping hand for ITIL in the stages of service design and service transition, right? So in design and transition, PMP or the project management methodology is the one that can help you a lot. You will have the defined scope, you will have the toll gate reviews. So this is how it will be helping ITIL. So for example, there are other methodologies and other improvement frameworks that can help ITIL. So ITIL on its own might not be sufficient for the entire IT that we have. Project management will help ITIL in the phases like service design and service transition, right? If in fact, in certain cases, a project management based on the goals and objectives, target reviews, certain things will also have other stages of life cycle, for example, service operation as well. So these are two different sets, Jeevan, and PMP can be the helping hand for the ITIL. Of course, yes. Of course, yes. So Rajiv says PMP will help stakeholder management for ITL implementation. Perfect. It will help stakeholder management. It will help you in terms of toll gate reviews, in terms of moving to the next stage. In all these ways, PMP is going to help you. Yes, Rajiv also says it will help you in risk management. Risk management is also a part of ITIL, Rajiv, you've seen. But yeah, you're right. In terms of project management, risk management can be an added feature as well. But risk management is also covered in ITIL. Okay, so Mohini asks if we take selective option from the life cycle and capability and have already completed 22 points, do I still have to take one more option as for option D and E, which you have shown in slide number 4? Okay, slide number 4. So again, I have to read that again, Mohini. If we take selective option from the lives and we already completed 22 points, do I? So, Mohini, are you saying that you have completed the 22 points in the life cycle stages only? Can you name them, Mohini, the modules that you have taken from these options that are there? See, for becoming an ITL expert, MALC is mandatory. And to take MALC, you should have at least 17 number of credits. I hope I have answered your question, Mohini. So you have done service design, OSA, and RCV, I am saying. I'm assuming RCA is RCV. Okay, so this will just fetch you 4, 8, and 11 to 13 points only. Till now, this is just 13 points. You need to have minimum of 17 points before you can go for MALC, Mohini. So you have done SD. So for SD will fetch you 3 points, OSA and RC will fetch you 4 points each. So 8 plus 3 is 11 plus 2 for foundation 13. So you have to go for one more, what you can say, the capability module, let's say, or a couple of more life cycle module more. So you can go for the PPO one, and rather than PPO, you should go for the SOA one you can go for, Moini, or you can select the other two from the life cycle stream, and then you can go for the MLC, and then you can become an ITIL expert. Okay, now moving to the next item of this presentation, that is the changes in 2011. So in somewhere in 2009, I mean, there were many ATOs, EIs found there are certain kind of irregularities in the 2007 V3 version that was launched. So somewhere in 2009, they launched a project, APMG launched a project on revising this stuff, and that went live in 2011. And now it's called, rather than ITIL V3, it's called ITIL 2011. So again, we will touch base the changes that has gone in the 2011, again from a very high level basis. If you have any detailed thing that you want from us, you can write to us on the mail IDs that I will give you at the end of this session. So our team can take it, answer all your queries. We will not have any kind of number of days in how many days we'll respond, but for sure we will respond to each and every query that we will receive. That's the service level agreement that I can offer for you guys. Okay, so first of all, moving from the overall changes that has come in this 2011. So one overall changes from the entire life cycle stages way, what has come is that there is consistency across all the 5 books. And when I say consistency across all the 5 books, So, for example, in 2007, there were terminologies that were used differently at a different stages of life cycle. So that kind of consistency is there. So there was a concept of product manager in 2011. They have done away with product manager, and now the product manager in 2011 is called service owner, right? For example, in each of these book of these life cycle stages, there is a chapter being defined. For example, chapter 6 will contain the organizational roles and responsibilities that should be considered to manage each of these life cycle stages. For each of the processes, they have the same structure that they have. They will have goals, objective, score, or policies, all those kind of things. They have brought more consistency in the entire of 5 books. They have come up with more number of examples in all these 5 books to make the things easier for you and me to understand those. Right. So first of all, I will take you what are the changes in the service strategy part. Now, one of the key things that was missing from the earlier version of 2007 was that what are the processes which are there in service strategy. So that was left. Certain processes were very clear that, let's say, service portfolio management is there, financial management is there, but some other processes were left to the interpretation of the different audience, right? But in this, they have come up with clear cut processes. What are the different, or which are the different processes in service strategy, right? So you have processes in this, like IT financial management is there. There is strategy manage in strategy management. They have clear cut come out with the process. For service portfolio management is there, and they have added a new process called business relationship management as a new process in service strategy. I will discuss a little bit more on that, but before that, some of the key points which are there in changes in service strategy. In the earlier version of 2007, there was little bit of confusion between a business strategy and a IT strategy. Now, in this 2011, they have come up with clear-cut definition of business strategy and IT strategy, and they have clearly defined these two things. So, business strategy is going to define the service strategy, IT service strategy, and IT strategy will work on how to have the business strategy. In the strategy management, initially in 2007, strategic assessment and generation was quite clear in that, but other things like execution and all those things was not as quite clear. Now what they have done is, it consists of 3 part. Strategic assessment will deal with like what are the internal factors, what are the external factors, how to define the market spaces, right? And defining those of objectives. In strategic or strategy generation, it will define the 4 P's that you might remember either from a foundation if you've done, or if you've done a higher level courses also. So it will work on those 4 P's, and strategy execution will take care of the entire through the life cycle for the service management, how to aligning assets with the customer outcomes, how to prioritize the investment, and then the CSI loop. So there are clear-cut diagrams for this. There are clear-cut steps for each of this in this particular process. There are some changes done to financial management as well. So earlier, I mean, in 2007, it was a little bit confusing. Those who have gone from the manager's part, I mean, the version 2 parts. Uh, okay, unable to view the slide. Screen is blank. Okay, Moni says she is unable to view the slide. Screen is blank. Is this true for everyone? Okay, it works for others. Moni, it works for others. So I think it's the local problem that you have. Okay. Okay, so I mean, the response that I'm getting, Mohni, is that people are able to see this slide. So probably, I don't know. I mean, just try to refresh. Probably that works. I don't know. I might be wrong in that case. I'm not an expert in this, but try to refresh. You might get it. Okay, Shivaraman is also getting a blank screen. Okay. Okay. For you guys, just try to refresh till that point of time. Yeah, login again is an option. Yeah, that's what says. So login again or try to refresh. So just see. So I will wait for 20 seconds. Mohini and Shiva, you try to refresh that and let's see. Okay, so Mohini comes again. Okay. Okay. Shivaraman comes again. So Mohini, is it okay for you? Okay, cool. So it is okay for Mohini. I'm assuming it's okay for Shiva as well. Okay, so I will have a little bit more on the business strategy and an IT strategy. Okay, let's say you are you are a banking organization, right? So a banking organization will have certain kind of strategies in terms of uh, business. So you a business. So you will have certain vision and mission for your organization business wise. You will have the objectives. You will define your markets. You will select who are your customers, and based on this business strategy, you will define as a part of your business strategy. You will also define the IT strategy that will include the IT service strategy. So, for example, in IT strategy, we are going to identify what are the business outcomes that we are going to support. What kind of IT services are you going to offer, and how are those going to meet your or business objectives? So, Ravi, that's Ravi Mohan. So that's what is covered on a very high level basis in the business strategy and IT strategy. Ravi, if the time permits, I will again come back to this, but based on the limitation of time, I will just park it for the moment. It's already 40 minutes, and so I will go ahead with this. And for sure, if the time permits, I will come back to that. Or you can write it to me, and I will give you the details of those. All right. Now, in the service strategy, they have also given a detailed version of governance. In the earlier version, there was a very limited scope for the governance, and was pointed out that COBIT and framework like COBIT can help us on that. But currently, they have given the detailed things on governance, that what to evaluate, what to direct, and what to monitor on the governance part. The new process that has been added is business relationship management. So you all might be aware that there was already a process in service design that was called service level management. Now what they have done is they have said that, for example, in any kind of pyramid structure, we will have a strategic, we will have a tactical, and we will have a operational thing, right? uh, 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 Business relationship management will cover most of the full strategic part and some of the tactical part, whereas the service level manager or the service level management will cover the tactical and operational. So they will have a little bit of overlap, but the business relationship management is more from maintaining the relationship between an IT and a business, identifying the new needs of the customer, ensuring that those needs are properly fulfilled. Whereas service level management will concentrate on the service level agreements, either for designing those SLAs or providing those services within the service level agreements, right? So the BRM role is more from a strategic and tactical perspective, and service level manager's role is more from a tactical and an operational perspective. So that is the new process that they have added in the service strategy. Yes, Hemant, this presentation will be there on QI website, and you can view that. Okay. Some other modifications that are there in the service strategy. So for example, now they have also come up with the definition of internal customer whereas external customers. There are many new diagrams, as I mentioned. There are new examples that I have given. There are new input and output sections from the strategy part they have given, right? So internal customer and an external customer, you all can understand the difference between these. So for example, let's say you're working for, let's say, a bank, serving the internal part of that is an internal customer. Those who are using those services outside your organizations becomes your external customers. I mean, the more details part, I will not take it in this, but yes, I mean, they have, apart from the internal service provider, external service provider, they have also come up with the concept of internal customer and the external customer in this case. Okay, in the next stage of the life cycle is service design. In service design, there are two major changes. One is that they have come up with a new process called design coordination. So those who have undergone foundation, you might have seen that service design were having the processes at the standalone processes in those, and there was no process who was taking care of end-to-end service design steps. So they have come up with a process called design coordination, which will take care of the entire service design phase of service life cycle. So right from receiving the high level requirements to handing over of the service design package. I might be using certain jargons over here, assuming that most of you are foundation certified and you can understand this service design package. Even if you can't, just see that what we are saying over here is that there is a clear ownership being defined over here in design coordination process for the entire service design, about the resources that are to be used, about prioritizing the different initiatives which are there. So all this will be taken care by the design coordination. In service catalog, it's actually the change is there, but some kind of things were already there in earlier version of 2007. So those who remember the service catalog of 2007 Orgon Foundation, there was a business service catalog and a technical service catalog. Now what they have done is they have said a customer view of service catalog and a IT or the supporting view of a service catalog. That's what they have come up with. So if I move to the next slide, uh, I'm jumping this slide for the moment, and I will come back to that for the design coordination. So in this, you can see, for example, the first layer from the bottom in this box shows the services from service 1, service 2, service 3. This is the supporting or the IT services which are mentioned, right? Or on the dark one where it says service A, service B, this is the business view of the services that are coming over here. And this is a three view because we are saying that there are, let's say there are two customer that we are working for. One is for the wholesale, one is for the retail. That's how it is coming. So the three view, one from the customer side, then the business services, and then the IT services, right? So this service 1, service 2, service 3, you can think of those as a technical service catalog that you have seen in the earlier version. And service A, service B is more of a business service catalog that we have, right? And this design coordination process that I was talking about, so this is about taking care of the entire service design. So defining the policies, resources, capabilities, coordinating the design activities, in fact prioritizing those different design activities or multiple projects that are going on, managing the risks that are there in the service design, so risk management, right, and improving the overall service design. This is for the process called design coordination that has been introduced in the service design 2011 version. Okay. Okay, in service transition, if you see the changes in service transition, one of the change is about changing the service evaluation to change evaluation. So everywhere, what they have done is they have just changed that service evaluation is now that called change evaluation. So the scope of this change evaluation is that in the entire service transition. So when the change is progressing right from you have received the service design package till to be implemented in operation, this change evaluation process will work, right? So those who are not familiar with this evaluation, it's more like what you can say is pathology report that you get about the status of or the different vital functions of that particular change that is happening, right? They have very much cleared some of the doubts which were there in the earlier version of 2007, or the process flows for the change management. They have come up with a new definition of what is meant by change proposal, what are the different change model, and the change model word that is being used in this entire life cycle stage is now consistent. So earlier it somewhere it was change model, service change process model, or the different words were used are different. So now the standard changes or the normal changes or the emergency changes, the different change models, they have consistency in the entire life cycle stages. There was a little bit confusion in terms of CMS, SKMS, the CI, and the configuration record. Now that is now clearly defined in 2011, and they have done away with all those confusion that exist in the earlier version. So clearly define what should be included in SKMS and how it is going to help. And more, they have some kind of changes in the knowledge management part as well. They have done it. Right. In the process flows, whether it is for the standard change or a normal change or emergency change, there are clear cut defined process flows for these steps, how it is interacting with the change evaluation and how it is interacting with the other process. Those kind of things have also been included in the new version of 2011. Service asset and configuration process and additional content that is relating to asset managements. And there are, I mean, they have cleared the definition of the asset management and service asset and configuration management and the linkages between those. Then there are clear-cut process diagrams for release and deployment management and change evaluation as well. So what I'm saying, trying to say is there are only, I mean, very few changes in service transition, but now it is more consistent. That earlier it used to look like that the different stages written by different person and those were reflecting in the different books, but now that inconsistency in certain case in those cases has been done away with. It's more consistent in terms of using of wordings or uses of those models or the process flow diagrams. Okay. Okay, in the next part of this service operation, now in service operation, if you see the key changes that we have, the key changes are that there are the concept of request model they have included. They have shown come up with the request fulfillment workflows. They have come up with the process flows of access management, which were missing from the earlier part. There were certain kind of things in terms of event filtering and correlations from the event management part. Now that event filtering and correlation with a certain explanation has been included in the event management process. They have also come up with that incident matching process about how incidents should be matched against the known error records before they are being escalated at the next level. So they have also done these kind of things. Problem management, there are much guidance given on the proactive side of problem management. Plus, one key thing that was missing from the earlier part in the problem management part was the some of the techniques that are used for problem management. Now they have listed many problem management techniques and have explained those problem management techniques in the newer version. Other changes, yeah, service operation inputs and inputs are more clear. Process flows have been updated. As I said, for request and access, managing physical facilities has been expanded. So that's part of the different functions that are there. They have now the clear cut on this, right? Plus, they have now come up with the application management part and the application development part and the interaction between these. So now they have the differentiation. What is the application development life cycle for that? So I can call it an SDLC life cycle for that, and the application management. So the clear-cut differentiation between these two are there in the latest version of this ITL 2011. Okay, in CSI, those who remember that the CSI seven-step improvement process. So there were two major concepts in CSI. One was called CSI model, and the another one was called seven-step improvement process. Now the CSI model is now called CSI approach. So if you remember what is the vision and how baselining those, improving those. So certain steps that were mentioned in model. Now it is called CSI approach. In 7-step improvement process, if you remember, there was an input, let's say about the goals, visions, strategic goals, tactical goals, and all those things. Then what could be measured, what can be measured, what should be measured, those kind of. Now they have simplified that. So the input is now the first step of that. So defining those vision goals, tactical goals, or strategic goals, operation goals, and then what should be measured. And it has been integrated with that Deming cycle. So if you remember that plan, do, checking, right? This 7-step has been integrated with that PDCA. So that's the major change that is there in the CSI part. So the confusion that exists between the 7 steps and the input and the PDCA, that has been done away with. What should be measured and what can be measured is no longer there. We will have something what needs to be measured in that course, and we'll work on those DIKW from there. So data, information, knowledge, and wisdom. So it's much clear now, much more acceptable to everyone now. So the whatever the confusion was there in the 7-step and how to integrate with the PDCA, that is now covered in the latest version of this ITIL. Okay, so yeah, so that's my ID, kalpesh.gaur@qiglobal.com. You can write to that, or you can write it to customer_relation@qiglobal.com. Right? And now I'm open to all the questions that we have. Some of the questions that we will have, if they need to be, I will say if you can mail me those, I will let you know, and then you can mail me, and we will respond to those. In the customer relations ID, please mention that it's customer_relation at qiglobal.com. Okay, so Hemant has, where can we find the dump of ITL 2011 for preparing the foundation exam? Or is it okay to refer the, okay, Hemant, uh, okay, my short answers will be that you can Google that. That's what I am allowed to say at the moment. I don't have any dumps, and I don't have any things that can help you in those. Hemant, yes, we do offer courses in Mumbai, as I would say, rather than Bombay. So Hemant saying, is your organization taking foundation courses in Bombay? Yes, we do take foundation courses in Mumbai. So we have an office also in Mumbai. It's in Andheri. All right. So you can write to me if you're interested, and I will pass it on to the relevant people for this. My organization will like to have such classes for many participants. So Hemant, I will ask one of my colleague to get in touch with you, or if you can just drop me a mail, just a test mail, and I will copy you to my colleague, and he will get in touch with you for that. Okay, so at the moment, Hemant, you can write it to me. It's kalpesh.gaur, as on the last slide, at qaiglobal.com, and my team will respond to you. Okay, have I missed any questions till now? Is it the same certification structure as like ITIL V3, or is it different? No, Ravi, if you have joined a little bit late, the structure is same. The life cycles are same. Everything is same. there has been minor modifications that has been done from 2007 to 2011. Others are still same. Will we be getting a copy of this presentation post this session? Yeah, I mean, you will get this presentation on the QAI Global website, Arun, and if you don't get that on the QA website, please drop me a mail and I will arrange that for you. Hemant, it will be uploaded after this session. Sudeep, I'm not sure. Sudeep says, if possible, please send this PPT to all the participants. Uh, Sudeep, I really don't know whether that is possible or not. If that's possible, we will definitely do it for you. But if it's not possible, I mean, logically, then you need to. I mean, I'm advance apologies for that. But you can definitely get it on our website within a day or two for sure. If you don't, you have my ID. I will personally share it with you. Thanks, Rajiv. Thanks for attending. So, no, any more questions on the either on the qualification scheme? You can still give me have questions on qualification scheme or any on the changes on those 2011. You can always write it to me as well. Hemant, can you share your contact number, please? Okay, I can. Okay, so okay, here it goes. Yeah, yes, I joined late for this session. Think missed the structure part. See, Ravi, the structure is same, right? I also shared information on how to become an ITIL master, which is the latest thing that has come, right? But the structure in terms of becoming an ITIL expert is still same. The point or the credit wise mechanism. Trupti has recently completed ITSM experts. Do I need to upgrade? No, Tripti, your expert certification is as valid as it was earlier. But still, I would advise Tripti that if you can go through the changes, I mean, they have just simplified the things which were little bit ambiguous in the earlier version. So whenever you get time, just revise the stuff. Heyman says, do the people who are certified for ITL V2 need to give the exam for ITL 2011? Hemant, my question to you, are you talking about V2 or V3 2007 version? If it is V2, for sure you have to. V2 is expired long back, right? But if you're talking about the V3 2007, so yeah, as of now, there is no need to retake the examination, but they have come up with the life of the service where you need to upgrade. So 3 and 5 years, after 3 years till 5 years, you need to upgrade this certification. Okay, let me go through the PPT again and mail you the questions. No problem, Ravi. Anytime, please do mail me. And I said earlier, I will respond to those. Only thing is that I will respond to those based on my time. I mean, no commitment in terms of number of days, but for sure you will get answers from my side. Oh, where will I get the detailed changes? See, see, there is, I haven't, Trupti asked, where will I get the detailed changes? See, Trupti, I haven't seen a book which has all the detailed changes of the earlier version into this. What they have come up with a newer version of those books. So so let's say if you are from a good organization, I mean, a good, when I say good means one who is going to, what you say, uh, give you the permission to buy these books, then the best thing would be to get these books. That's the best thing. Unfortunately, these books are more are there with more security provisions, so they are not available on the net, neither on torrent, nothing. There are more security provisions to these books. So the only thing that we can do as of now is just to purchase those books. Even they are not printable, no copy, no paste, nothing is allowed for these books now. Hemant says, with dumps of ITIL V3, can we take the ITIL 2011 exam? Hemant, yes, you can, huh? But that's a little bit of risk, because the reason I'm saying you can take the exam is because there is not the wholesale changes has not taken place, right? And what you need is just 65% marks in the foundation to clear these things, right? So yes, you can, but there is a risk, as someone pointed out, risk management. Yes, there is a risk of taking, but based on these dumps. But my suggestion would be, Hemant, this see, uh, you can say more of a lecture this, but I will never advise you to go through this dumps and then do exam. Even if you want to do it on your own, just look for certain kind of presentation that you will get on net. Just go through this and then take exam. Yeah, Rajiv says YouTube is also helpful. Yes, yes, Rajiv is right. There are certain sessions on YouTube. And apart from YouTube, Rajiv, I would say there are some good presentations available on net. R- Go through those and you would be able to clear. And what I am hearing for these kind of things as well, that in future there might be a mandate for going for these foundations training as well. As of now, nothing is there. The training is mandatory for the intermediate part, nothing is there for the foundation part. Okay, so any last questions that you have? Rajiv says PDUs like you mean. No, not in that terms, Rajiv. What I'm saying is currently for foundation, there is no mandatory either for online or for a classroom based training. But in future, that might not be the case. In future, even for the foundation, you need to go for the training. That in future it might be. Hey, hey, Sudeep Kumar. Okay. No, no, Sudeep Kumar. I mean, you will see the difference. I would suggest that you will see the difference going through the dump and going through the training session. You will see the difference. Thanks everyone for attending this. If there are no questions, last 20 seconds, then I will going to wrap up this, and the presentation in a day or two, you will get it from our website. Thanks, Ravi. Thanks for attending. Thanks, Trupti. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day, and hope to meet you again on any kind of platform, maybe again on this webinar. Thanks, everyone. Bye bye. Take care. Bye bye.